Hey everybody, my name is Mike Chen. I am going to talk about the Magnuson TVS2300 today. I started out, just a little bit of background about why I chose the Magnuson Superchargers when I started racing. Back in 2012, 2013, I had my first LS car and I was looking for something that had low end torque for drifting. So I knew that turbos are nice, but all the power band comes up on the top and the torque comes at the top of the RPM band. But I knew that superchargers were something I never had any experience with, so I figured I would do some research. And based on what I learned, a positive displacement supercharger like this one here, every time it spins, it displaces that certain amount. So this one's a 2.3 liter, that's why the name is TVS2300. So every time this lobe makes one rotation, when the supercharger makes one rotation, it displaces 2.3 liters of air. So the thing that's really nice about a positive displacement supercharger is that it makes really good low down torque. So maybe a 2200, when you get on the gas, there's no spool time, there's no lag, it just kicks in like boom, right off the bat, you get all the power. So my first experience with Magnuson was really good. I had an MP112. It was a really old supercharger, one of the first ones they made. It was a classic. I never had any problems with it. My car just ran and ran and ran. No problems, no belt slipping issues, no overheating issues, no blower blowing up. So when it was time for me to move up to Pro 2 in Formula Drift, I needed more horsepower. So I got this one from Magnuson Superchargers. And this is their jack shaft 2300. This thing was good. I think they said it's good up to about 700 to 800 horsepower. So my experience with this supercharger has been really, really rough. I have non-stop belt slipping issues, and then that's why on the rear I have the cog belt now, so it resolves the slipping in the back. On the front I have a smaller pulley, so there was a belt slipping issues on the front as well. So the first time I had it, it was a brand new supercharger. I had it for about two track days. I took it to Willow Springs, and this whole section just blew off. It just blew off. I have the video of it. I might attach it in this video, but it just exploded, blew off. And shrapnel went into the supercharger, and it scored up all the inside. And it was no good. So I took it to Magnuson, ran me about $3 grand to rebuild it. They were super nice, built it in like one day, usually takes a couple of weeks. So they rebuilt it for me because I was on my way to Atlanta and I needed to get the car back up and running ASAP. It was my luck that nothing fell into the motor and got eaten up. So my motor was good. So after that supercharger got rebuilt, I had a lot of belt slip issues. This supercharger was just eating up my belt. Of course, I'm doing a little bit higher boost. I'm running about anywhere between 16 to 20 pounds, but it was just chewing up my belt. And I literally spent like $400 or $500 in belts over the last 7 to 8 months. So yesterday, I went to my hometown track, Adams Motor Sports Park, to shake down my car before the 2018 Pro 2 season. And lo and behold, I go out there, warm up the car really nice, and my first lap, where I'm getting on the car, second to third gear, and all of a sudden I lose boost. All of a sudden, just boom, nothing left. And I figure, oh, you know, maybe my belt fell off, but I had power steering, so my belt was still on. And I was just in the back of my mind that I knew this could happen, but I was just kind of like, please don't let it be the inside shaft of the supercharger that's broken. And then so I checked my belt, everything looked good, and so the issue is not this shaft. It's not the carbon fiber jack shaft, but there's some sort of a shaft inside here that links the rear gearing to the two lobes that spin counter rotation or make that boost. So something in this is broken. I don't know what's in this thing, but my worst fear is I gotta take this out and I gotta replace the lobes, because I know the lobes are super expensive. So hopefully that's not the case. Maybe it's something they can just change over here, or something, or I can change over here, because I'm not sending them to spend $3,000 again. So I'm going to take a look at it. So we're going to take apart this thing today, see what this Magnuson Supercharger is made out of. I checked on YouTube. I didn't find anything about the internals, what it is to take them apart, break them apart. I'm sure you guys are at home are very curious about what's inside, as I am. As I've been progressing along and pushing the limits, well, I don't even think I'm pushing the limits of what this thing can do, but I'm getting up there, you know, anywhere 16 to 20 pounds of boost. I have learned a lot of things, and frankly, this is a really nice supercharger. You know, nothing bad against Magnuson. If you want to go have a street car that you can go putt around with on the weekend, or if you want some nice dyno numbers, you know, if you want like 600-700 positive displacement supercharger, you can do it with this thing. But for a race application, so just a situation with the belt slip up front, the belt slip in the back, if you don't have the cog, and the internal breakages, it's not really made for racing. And on top of that, this carbon fiber shaft here, which is about $500, I've heard of multiple people have this jack shaft break. So the carbon fiber will separate from the stainless steel, and then you lose boost. So it's kind of like the same situation in the jack shaft and in the rear, where the lobes inside are no longer rotating and making boost. So for a competition racing stuff, you know, if that happens, your competition is freaking done. There's no way you can pull this out, pull it apart, rebuild it. Yeah, sure, if you have overnight and if you have the parts, sure, you can do it. But if it's like Formula Drift and you have a 5-minute timeout, you're straight out of luck. So for me, this is really just the top blowing off, the breakage in the back, and I heard of issues with these jack shafts. It's really shaken my confidence in this product. And you know, for a street car application, sure, you know, go have fun. But for us, what we're doing, and we're spending a lot of our own money and treasure racing these series. Frankly, we can't have a situation where one of these things blows up and we're out for one round. You know, it really hurts the points. So, with that said, I love the supercharger. I love the power. Just reliability. My faith has been shaken. Probably not going to have this on my car anymore, or at least on my competition car. So any of you out there doing Pro-Am or coming up in like Pro 2 or even Pro 1, it's a real crapshoot. You might get away with it. I got away with it for close to 8 months, but frankly, I didn't have that much time on it. And then finally, when I started to get the pulley to hook up and actually make really grip without slippage, that's when the breakage happened. So if you're pushing it, I would probably look at another option. So, all right, with so much talking aside, let's take this thing apart. Before we do this, please click the subscribe button and also click on the bell, the notification bell, so that way I'm going to be doing a LS motor build as well, a basic LS1, just a stock LS1 block with a little bit of a hone and putting some aftermarket pistons rods. There are some tricks with making LS1s last, and I'm going to go through and walk you guys through the build, and hopefully it can help you guys build a really reliable, inexpensive motor like in that car back there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that motor in there is pretty much a basic LS1. I've smashed on it for 5 years now, so it's really been abused and tested, and nothing's gone wrong, so knock on wood. But I'm going to be doing that over the next week. So subscribe, and you guys can follow my progress, and I'll teach you guys how to build a reliable LS motor. On top of that, we have an LS7 coming up that I'm building for my Toyota Supra with the V8 in it. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. If you guys got nothing to do after you get off from school, work, you know, whatever situation, or even if you're in school or in work, that's even better. You're watching this on somebody else's time. So, so just subscribe, and let's see what we can do. All right? Thanks. Let's get started.